Welcome along to your qualifying strategy video. I know it's late, but it's worth the wait here on F1 Clash, as F1 Clash this week sees a new 60 frames per second. Make sure you've got that update in your App Store or Android Store and hit that target FPS for a noticeable graphics difference. It's always looking a lot better now, which is finally we're up to speed a little bit more with some nice new graphics and user interface management. But we're here mainly for qualifying for this week's GP event. We've got a new cap, and there's a reason why. We are off to Monza in F1 World this week, and that becomes the Monza GP. Qualifying for the Italian Grand Prix, although from Monza. The Tifoso are going to be on their feet for AZW F1 Racing and its community this week, and hopefully we can score big. Now with this Italian GP, we have got Carlos Sainz 10% boosted, so a Ferrari driver being boosted for Epic, Rare and Common with Monolith and Aeroblade, so make sure to check them out today because they will be getting a nice decent 10% boost. What tracks have we got coming up in qualifying? We've got a bit of Monza, 26 to 35 degrees, got to be careful there. We've got Mexico, and then we've got 2 rounds of the wet stuff on Hungary and Shanghai, China. So remember, China is 7 laps, the other 3 are 8 laps, so a little bit different. But that is our qualifying. Now remember, we're going to go through track maps. It's going to show you where to push, where to conserve. It's going to show you the best strategy for your GP level, and it's also going to show you the boosts that are best around this circuit. Don't just take the screenshots, make sure to listen as well, because we give you some hints and tips along the way. So it's going to be beneficial to you in these difficult groupings if that you take all the information possible to get the very best result. Let's pop in to the strategy area and find out what we're running this week. So here we go, nicely into the strategy area, and we're going to kick things straight off with a very difficult track. Is Monza, and here it is in all its glory. So it is 2 track stats. It has defending and it has speed. Okay, so you're going to need defending drivers and you're going to need a speed setup. Don't go, well, first of all, go all out speed, see what you've got, and then you want to be working on a little bit of qualifying added back to make sure you're not just stuck at the back, because where there's difficult tracks to get through, you want a little bit more qualifying. For example, Monza. Now, it is dry, so if it is over 33 degrees, you're going to need to use a slower compound. So, for example, 4 soft in Champions and Contender. If it's scheduled to be over 33 degrees, I will go to 4 medium. Now, it should be good for 4 medium. It's not massive heat. It's not like you're 40 degrees. But, for example, on the 4 medium strategy, you might want to run 4 medium, 4 hard. Just obviously, you're going to be best to watch depending on what weather you get. Because it's only 35 potentially, I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue. Now, Challenger and Junior, it's the same for you. 3 soft, 2 soft. That might change to mediums. 3 medium, 2 soft, if that heat is stuck at 35 degrees. Challenger and Junior, you're not going to be able to change it. I think you'll be sufficient on a 4 hard. Now, the boosts that are available to use, we've got Rainbow, Tulip, Voice and Warrior. They feature both defending and speed. Some notable ones that you can use also is Eagle, Street Shark and Firework. Top right, you will see the Monza circuit. You will see 3 blue sections. That is where you want to conserve your engine mode to gain power unit. Yellow is where you want to move on to just a medium running. And red is where you want to attack. You can see why it's crucial to conserve, because there is some big attack places through the corners here in Monza. Round 2 sees us go off to Mexico then, Mexico City, and we've got some track stat changes, which means you need to change your setup. We have got tyre management drivers are now required here in Mexico, and we've got a cornering car setup, so get rid of your speed setup, get your cornering setup. Same rules apply, max cornering, and then add a little bit of qualifying on there without losing too much cornering, and you will be absolutely fine. Now, Champions and Contender. This is pretty similar to Monza. 4 soft, and then we've also got a 4 soft, 4 medium, because we recognise that tyre management is a little bit more difficult, so you might want to run the mediums to gain that full power usage attack on Mexico. Challenger and Junior though, 3 medium, 2 soft, 3 medium, and a 3 medium, 3 medium, 2 soft. That is designed so that you don't double stack your drivers. That is the last thing that you want to do, because you're going to lose 3 or 4 seconds easy, and that can be the difference between some big points and some small points. So that's why we've got the 3-2-3 and the 3-3-2. They don't pit on the same laps, apart from the first one, of course. But the first one, you're going to have to make sure you gain a decent advantage between the two. The boosts that are available for the track stats are Movember. We've highlighted Saar and Nazar as the 2 best ones, with downforce and some self-control. You can also use Cuppa and Prince. They're okay because they hold race start and cornering as well. Top right, big straight here in Mexico. Conserve all the way down that straight. You'll gain some power unit for attacking the corners. Only a couple of medium sections. The rest is attacking. So it's really, if you want to score some big points, you've got to make sure you manage that power unit, because if you do, you'll be able to attack. If you can't attack, you pretty much can't make positions unless you're on a superior tyre, like the soft versus the hards. Race number 3, it is 100% race. Wetness in race number 3. Obviously, it's 100% race for us down at 8 laps. Defending drivers are now required to change them drivers back to defending like you had in race number 1 at Monza. However, your cornering setup needs to remain the same from Mexico. Defending and cornering. We are in the wet though, so we are going to go 4 wet, champions and contender. You've got a 2 wet, 3 wet, 3 wet, and a 3 wet, 3 wet, 2 wet, designed to not double stack. Now, of note, champions, contender, all your AI are pretty much going to pit on lap number 4. In Challenger and Junior, they are going to do a 3-3-2, but you're probably going to get a couple of cars like Max Verstappen go and do a 4-4. So it is crucial here if you can also take some tyre management. You need around 50 tyre management to be able to do a 4 wet, 4 wet. If you've got that, it is the superior strategy than the 2-stop. I like to use something like downforce, or you could use Saar. Saar is probably really good. You've got hook and print. So if you don't have the tyre management in Challenger and Junior, something like Saar, 4 wet, 4 wet, you are going to easily be up there with Max Verstappen fighting for 47 points. And then the final circuit we head off to is China. So one of the newest on the calendar for this year. And it is in the wet. So in the wet, a little bit of a newer strategy that we have to test out. So overtaking drivers are now required, with speed setup now required as well. We have got on here champions and contender, a free soft for, well, we don't even need to go through the dry, do we? Let's correct ourselves. We need to go for wet. So champions and contender, a 4 wet, 3 wet, and a 3 wet, 4 wet. And then we've got a Challenger and Junior, a 2-2-3 and a 3-2-2, designed again to make sure you don't double stack. Now we are expecting that they'll potentially come in on lap, obviously 3 or 4. This is the one that we haven't really had in the wet, so it's all going to be about learning. You're going to need over 50 tyre management to be able to do a one-stop strategy. A lot of boosts available though. Skull, Eclipse, Firework and Street Shark we know as the 2 best. We've got Taurus, Unstoppable, Eternal Flame, Hex and Warrior. And then you can see top right on your track map, 2 places to conserve down the big straights with a lot of red and yellow to use your different engine modes. So that is your strategy for this week's qualifying session. Appreciate it's a little bit late, but we are here nevertheless. Good luck, because if you've got this far, let me know what drivers you're using. And if you've got this far and you comment, I know that you've took on all the information that we've spoke about and you're going to go and put in a decent round. So let me know, are you using Sainz? If not, which 2 drivers are you going to be using? Remember, no legendary drivers are permitted this weekend because it is an F1 race weekend. That it means we do not get the chance to use our legendary drivers. But Carlos Sainz could be a very good driver to use. But just remember, his tyres are not so great. Good luck in your rounds. Go and absolutely smash it at this Italian GP from Monza. And fingers crossed, you will go ahead and score some big points and get through to the opening round. Come on.